Noobs. I am Ian, and I'm joined by my friend, as ever, Dave.
Hello.
And we're on to Sunday of E1 2023. This one's going to be, like, I'll caveat this at the beginning. I think, like, there's a lot of active game, is all I can, like that's going on in a lot of this.
We can talk about what happened.
Yeah.
And then...
We'll navigate around it, but I'll just... There's obviously certain things where I think... Like, this is about as active game as I've ever personally had.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's very unusual in a way. Like, for me, anyway.
Okay, let's get into it.
Let's go.
So, we are taking to the field as our characters. It's the first time me as Gellert has been on the field in a very long time.
Yeah. How actually long is it?
When did I get pneumonia? When was the stag do? Ben stag do?
Dude, that's like 2
May?
years ago, right?
No, it was last year.
Last year.
May.
Yeah. But you didn't you do your back before that?
Yeah, it was the year before that.
So you haven't been on the field since before then, right?
I don't know. Probably if you listen to the podcast, you'll probably know better.
Yeah,
than I
dude,
do.
it's been a while, right?
I think I was maybe I don't know. Yeah, so I was like, fuck it, let's go do the flight.
Yeah.
So loved the hype of being back in the army again of Navarr. Loved the kind of I hung out with the Embercast block.
Yep.
Saw loads of homies there, really, really nice. Caro,
lovely.
caroing around being the general.
Yeah.
Larkin was there being the general. Just
God.
good vibes, really. Like a strong, united force.
Oh, God.
Lots of like heroes standing among us. Really fucking dope. Headed down to the gate, singing. Navarr was so big. We had like it was literally like the singing was like almost like a call and response because the difference between the front of the line and the back. I saw a bunch of people. Really, really nice, wasn't it, Ian? Wasn't it, Ian?
At that point, it was fucking glorious. It was, well, not glorious. It's the wrong word. It was great though.
God, are you?
No, but like it, dude. It's like. It's probably worth running over, I guess, what the objectives were. I'd kind of heard a little bit about them the night before, which I didn't go into on the Saturday episode. But basically, the idea was that we'd be taking and holding a Regio, and we're just basically just pumping that motherfucker full of spring magic. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, there's a fort. You got to imagine that so there's like a freestanding stones. Picture that in the woods.
So we, instead of spawning at the main gate, which comes with the field. We actually, the gate opened up directly into the wooded area, which is cool, actually. Yeah. Like, it was a nice, refreshing change, actually.
Yeah, so you got to imagine that it would then opens up into freestanding stones. That's where the Regio is.
Yeah.
We basically have to take that, get our spring mages there. They're going to do a bunch of rituals.
Yeah.
While that's going on, we have to hold it. Meanwhile, there's a fort that will be on the left-hand side of that, as you imagine it, again in the woods. That has to be taken. There's also a person of interest who is basically like a master kind of fort maker, is basically the best description I have.
We were given a description of what they would be wearing, and it's some sort of orc, and we had to come find that person and kill them.
Yeah. We're fighting against the Jotun as well. So that's the basic gist of how the landscape of the battle is. Because it actually was all fought in a relatively small area, really.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah.
Like you could see broadly if you were in the middle, the left and the right flank, in general.
So,
but before the battle,
did you do your little Navarcha song, Ian?
Well, before that, we kind of all go through. We're obviously as a block, as you said. Before that, I did a little battle speech. I've been wanting to do a proper kind of battle speech beforehand.
Was it like this? Was it archers stay way back? Let all the grunts do the fighting. You are the fucking worst.
You know what? Jealousy.
And then ping your shots over and hit unsuspecting people on the other side bravely.
Yeah, jealousy is a terrible thing.
Was that what the speech was?
Jealousy
was that what the speech was?
No, it was fun to do. I obviously, because I'm pumped full of pride at this point. I've got the fucking bow. That's pumped full of pride. It's like basically just trying to inspire everyone to basically. I think I did some shit like it's like I want you to wake up tomorrow jealous of who you are now, that kind of shit.
Oh, that's awesome.
And like,
that's a great line.
And it's like, your tomorrow is going to be amazing because your today's going to be phenomenal, kind of shit. And like that I was kind of that kind of vibe, right? And then it was like, I did the whole spiel, and then I was like, I don't know, if you would do us the honor of singing the song, and then like fucking when we went into the Fly Free, Fly True, and just kind of kicked straight into that. It was great, dude.
It's a good song.
And it was nice because, and then it's like we kind of ended like Navarr's Forever. It was hype as fuck.
Forever.
Like for me, it was fucking
like. It's what's cool about the Navarches is there would never be a rift in the Navarches.
No,
loyal till the end of times.
Yeah, loyalty is actually, but fucking hell. It was interesting because we went down there with the Waystone Path, who are part of Silver's group. And they are actually like a melee force we often run with, right? So we have this kind of buddy system that we break up with along the line, and then we have people who we normally work with, basically as protectors, or
meat shield,
or just actually there's often runners and stuff like that. People who just like a lot of my role often is just passing information along and essentially like trying to move people to places. My whole role has changed a lot, and actually it's worked because like my fitness sort of post-COVID hasn't been like amazing as well. So it's like, and I'm getting older. I'm still like I'm enjoying what I do, but like it's been fun like actually changing my role and seeing that I can get a lot of pleasure out of that kind of experience of being like, oh yeah, I can literally be like the kind of the person who helps like just move forces around,
telling other people what to do.
Yeah, which is basically what I'm fucking good for.
Yeah,
making bad decisions. Which
let's get to that.
So initially, I would say we go through the gate, as you say. We end up in the woods.
Yeah, so
it's immediate action.
I was part of one of the opening groups, so we headed forward. And in like a column, and the column was heading towards that I was with was heading towards the Reggio.
Yeah,
and then there was a shitload of orcs started moving around on our left flank, and we were immediately in a position to start doing a serious duty of flanking. I think Wintermark came through then and like plugged that gap.
Wintermark were largely on the left.
Yeah.
That was mainly their job to hit, again,
just screen, right, to be a block.
Yeah, they kind of hit the fort largely with, I think Black Skull were there too.
That fort fight looked fucking
crazy, dude.
Like, I wasn't involved in it, but man, that looked like from a distance, all I could see was just carnage going on in there, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like, I kind of had some people on the left having a look, but like the Reggio was where I was told my priority was. So we kind of took the Reggio. That actually went very well, I felt. We took the Reggio, got the Spring Majors in, started doing the deal quite early on.
Oh, really quick. I think that the line moved out, and there's a lot of confusion usually with some troops who are like, we need to push forward. And like, actually, like, there was the kind of order was kind of like, we're just going to hold.
Yeah.
And bear in mind, the line was 5 meters at the most away from the Reggio. It was very close.
So the thing is, the terrain, basically, you got to imagine the Reggio's on this kind of slightly elevated area. I mean, we're in the woods, bear in mind.
Slightly.
And then there's actually like a dip.
Oh,
that goes
trench. Yeah.
There's a trench just beyond the Reggio. But the problem is, if you stack up on our side of it, you're talking like a 1 to 2 person deep line.
Yeah.
Right, it's about as best you can form before you're literally inside the Reggio. And I'm not entirely sure, but I don't think I think if you step inside the Reggio, I might be wrong about this. Fates can and magic users can correct me. I think if you step inside the Reggio as a non-magicy person while they're doing the rituals, you're fucking it up.
Your head goes poff.
So like, there was actually a really cool bit later on where like I was sort of moving around, and like Darius like stopped me kind of because like the force was getting pushed on the right. He stopped me like literally from backing into the Reggio, and then we kind of had to wheel round. It was cool. So I'm not sure if that's the case, but that's certainly how I was playing it. The whole fight to basically hold the Reggio, which went on for 45 minutes, was pretty intense.
A bloody good fight.
It was great.
For a static fight,
yeah,
it was great.
Yeah. The thing is, like, again, because you had the fort fight on the left, which was very dynamic in many ways, because we had to keep, like, there was different forces that had to keep getting pulled from, I think, the fort fight to help with the different presses that we were having on the Reggio, because once the rituals get fucked up, that's it. So, like, but I think that the fort was never taken. I think they gave it a bloody good go, but it was super hard there. That looked crazy.
Yeah.
I went over and I had a look, and I was like, "Whoa!" But it was tough going.
Before you get into all of your stuff, I'll just quickly go over what my battle was like.
Yeah.
Bear in mind, I was proper sick at this stage. Like, I was actually ill. My back was a little bit upset. I was like, so I did a bit of fighting, and then was like, this is a mugs game. I'm going to go and do what I want to do. So I saw Ellie was holding with the Crimson Reaper banner, just holding it up.
Yeah.
And I was just like, so I went over and chatted to her for a bit, and then I was like, oh, I've got Empower. So I went around and basically just selected
amazing.
people to empower them and, like, do damage. And I felt like part of the team. I was doing my job. I was spunking all my mana, trying to get, like...
We should get you some more mage blood and stuff, so you can do stuff like that. Like, so you can basically just empower the fuck out of people.
I mean, it was fun. It
fun.
It was funny. Like, I empowered one guy who struck down someone. They moved forward. Then we got attacked. One of our guys went down, and then it was like, oh, we actually had a net loss for me being involved. So it was like, oh, never mind. But I basically had a lovely time.
There was a great moment with you, actually, where, like, we were both, like, the Reggio had been pushed really hard at the front, and Caro had run in, as Caros want to do.
Yeah.
And had basically been dragged back. And you were at this stage, like, so it was like you, me, Caro between us, he's being healed. And we're just like, what have you done? Again, we're pulling you out of the fire.
Yeah, but you look after yourself.
Yeah, and you were giving me some shit. It was great. Like, it was so good.
I just had a really nice, wholesome battle. It was like really
you looked like
fun.
You were having a lot of fun.
I had a really good time. I tried to avoid getting into those straight up on the line bashing each other type, not bashing, you know what I mean, like in the
because you've got your shield and your rod, right?
Yeah, so people wanted me to obviously go forward, but I was like, I'm a mage, I'm not going to do that. I'm just also I got shot twice.
Oh man!
One of them was from one of the Blood Games people, and they tried to have that as counting. I'm like, that doesn't count.
In fact, that's an assault.
That's some heretical bullshit right there. The Jotun. So me and Millie, someone was like, so Millie's a healer.
Yeah.
So I was going around covering her with my shield while she healed people. And she had run out of medical supplies, but what she did have was bubbles.
Amazing.
So she started using the bubbles as a fizz rep for healing people. Yeah.
I'm a terrible influence.
Yeah. And then we came across some guy who was on the ground, head back onto a tree stump, and like mouth gaping, and we were like come up and try to give him a medical thing. He was dead.
Oh no.
Like, he's dead. And I was just like, oh. They were like, don't worry, we'll get you through the gate. So we picked him up, walked back to the gate, and yeeted him through the fucking portal. And then we were like, let's just be body collection. So we went around and literally we yeeted 3 or 4 people. I want to say 3 people.
Right.
We just were body collection, and we went around and just picked bodies up and yeeted them through. And then every time people were heading back, we were like, oh, watch your feet when you step through the portal, by the way, because there might be some dead bodies
just scattered
on the other side, you know.
Amazing.
I had a lovely time. Ian, please tell me about how your battle went.
Okay, so it went well, okay, at this stage. So it was a hard fight. We took the Reggio, we held the Reggio.
Yeah.
It was pretty intense. Like, there were stages where it was like, I mean, we had one press where it was like, I literally was on the line myself with a sword, like, which I am not want to do, as you know.
No.
But it was pretty desperate shit. The new archery rules also mean that you have to check your arrow before you shoot, as well as before you put it in your quiver. So there's like a double check you have to do.
That's probably quite good.
It's good, but it does slow down the rate at which you
gun
shoot,
fire, yeah.
which is again quite good. But it changes the nature of play. In this battle, it worked quite well because it was quite a static fight. So of course, a lot of the arrows are collectible. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out in a more mobile engagement where the battle lines are moving because of the nature, how arrows will be collected and used. Obviously, like all of this stuff is feedback.
As much as I hate archers, by the way, in both battles, and generally what I do in battles now is I'm really conscious of picking up arrows and passing them on. It's a free impale.
Yeah.
Like, feeding your archers arrows is good and clever. You know what I mean? Especially before they get stepped on. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it's also just safety as well. I think it does help. I actually, to go into that a little bit, I had, at the very beginning of the fight, I'd forgotten, which is terrible, I'd forgotten the fucking, the second check to put it on the bow, because originally you just checked to put it in your quiver. And one of the refs pulled me aside, and it was just like, I want to highlight it because it was my fuck up, but it was also just like, the ref was so good with me, and like, because it's pretty, like, it's quite stressful to be pulled aside by a ref, like, and it was like a big press at that point. And I was a bit flustered, and obviously there's a lot going on, I'm trying to direct people and get people into positions, and I just didn't think at the time. But the ref was really good with me, and like, it was just like, yeah, top work by all the refs, actually, in the way they were handling the battle. I heard a bunch of really nice reports, and just that it's not an easy job, I think, being a ref.
No,
especially these big battles.
I've seen some refs kind of lose their rag, maybe unnecessarily, but maybe they've had like a lot of things going on before that.
This was great. Like, honestly, I had because we did a debrief. Like, we've got a little Discord thing. We did a little debrief afterwards, and the Navarchers, we were just talking about the refs and how the archery was done, all this kind of stuff, and just generally speaking, like, can't say better things. Like, everyone walked away really positive experiences. Bear in mind that the new archery rules, like, everyone who's in the archery game, like, there's been a bunch of changes that have happened over the last few years, and obviously different people have had to adjust to certain different things. Like, it's not necessarily always been easy, I think, for people to feel like they're the part of the game that people maybe think is dangerous or not fun or all that kind of element. So it's good. Like, I think actually the way it's landed out and the way it's working out is quite good, and the way the refs are handling it, the way the player base, I think, is handling it. We'll see, obviously, as things go on, but I think it was actually, genuinely speaking, on all that front, really fucking good.
Right, get on with the bit.
Getting back into the actual fucking battle. So we hold the Reggio, which gets fucking desperate at a point. But we managed to do it. It's funny when you're doing this kind of stuff as well. I don't know if you had this experience from the outside, but when you're kind of... There's crazy shit going on, and then there's people playing instruments, and then you look inside...
That's a great call. There was like the tambourine crew... And like musicians, it was like
there's bonkers shit going on,
like a Salvador Dali painting at times, isn't it?
There's moments where I got like cleaved at one point, and like got carried out, and I got dropped down right next to some people, just like doing a whole bunch of drumming and just dancing around, and just like it was great, like getting physicked then, and then just get carried back into the battle. You're all fired up. And then you walk past the Reggio, and there's all kinds of crazy ritual stuff going on in the Reggio. I just want to highlight that because, like, bear in mind, they're going at it for 45 minutes of rituals in the Reggio, and everyone's bringing the heat, and everybody's obviously taking turns, I imagine. I don't even know how it works, right? Like, this is all a game I'm not part of. It was great, like, just to see that as a thing. I heard during this time also the builder of the fortifications that I spoke about earlier was taken out.
Not true.
Not true.
So someone that looked like that got killed, but it wasn't actually the target.
Interesting. I heard they got killed in single combat by a Imperial Orc who took them on.
I don't know. Again, with all of this stuff,
caveats galore.
Massive caveats.
I think, especially on the Sunday battles, information is very loosey goosey on the results of stuff.
I think I might have heard that officially in Senate.
Interesting. On Sunday?
Yeah, after the battle, I went to
Interesting,
Senate.
okay.
And basically the field marshals at the start of Senate give a report on what happened.
Okay, cool. No, that's good to hear then.
Yeah, which is,
Actually, some official
They
information.
also talk about casualties as well.
Fucking hell. Okay, so at this point, it was a tough fight, but it was going well.
Yeah.
Where things started falling apart was the fallback.
The fighting retreat.
The fighting retreat, which is always the most difficult. So... Yeah, there's a lot of this. Like, I will apologize a little bit because, like, I don't want to. Like, there's stuff I can say because of how it, like, because it's a very active game for me. I don't want to go into too much of my opinion of things.
Just say what happened.
Yeah,
and
so we fall back. I heard that basically Wintermark got an early call back to go through the gate.
Yeah. So I was heading back at that stage.
Yeah.
We had taken 5 casualties at that stage.
Yeah.
And I headed through the gate.
Yeah. So I think communication went awry, and basically large numbers of players started exiting through the gate because we'd achieved the objectives. The problem was the right was hanging out. The right flank was like, that was mainly where the League were based, was like, they'd been holding that area for a long time, I think, with the Imperial Orcs. And they'd been sort of really doing, like, you know, virtue's work out there on the
and
right.
they were the furthest away from the gate.
The furthest away from the gate, right? So normally how you have to pull back is that you retract the furthest extended point of the to basically dissolve that salient, and then the closest points can move. And that's normally, like in previous battles, I've tried to kind of assist in doing that, using Navarr to basically kind of help retract these things. A lot of cohesion had dropped off at this stage, because I'd had to put myself basically towards the end of the Reggio getting resolved, like pretty much on the fucking front line, guarding the Reggio.
Did the troops in the fort pull back?
I don't know. Like, the left is a bit of a mystery to me. I was very heavily focused on the centre and the right. I think... I just heard after the fact that large numbers of people had started leaving, basically. And the net result, regardless, is the right ends up very exposed. The right flank is very exposed. And we're falling back from the centre at this point because everybody's done. We've got to get the ritualists out. The line is very thin, just in front of them as well. So it's like, once the fallback starts, it's not like we're a deep sort of line, right? You're talking about like 1 to 2 people deep of pretty knackered people at this point. That starts falling back. We basically get pushed back to the gate pretty much at this stage. There's kind of people moving back through the gate. Then there starts to be calls that the gate is closing. Obviously, the battle's been going on for a while. There's a bunch of calls about this.
I heard that one of the refs said 2 minutes till the gate shuts. This got spread around, and then another ref said it's like half an hour till the gate closes. But that was enough to spread this thing that...
Yeah, I heard something similar. I don't really want to... I'm not sure how true that is, regardless of the information.
Yeah,
I did hear that.
I wasn't there, by the way. This is all rumour mill shit. So...
I heard the same kind of thing. And again, this is very active plot for my character, so it's difficult to talk about in that sense. But, regardless, the net effect is that a bunch of people were talking about how the gate was closing and imminently. Also, it's important to say, I don't actually know, as Ian, at that point, really what the effects are of the gate closing and you being on the other side of it.
I think
you get gate shock, and bad things happen, and I think there's a very varied amount of effects. But the way it was expressed there's several parts to it. I was under the impression that people could die, just straight up die, and then I was also under the impression that how the right was exposed and completely basically cut off at this point, that it wasn't going to matter anyway because they were in a position where they would just literally get surrounded and cut off to a man or person. So I'm in the middle with the main force. The Navarchers are out, so I'm happy at that point, right? Like I can't see any of my people, so at least I know they're safe or they're assisting, right? I'm on the sort of the front of the middle with Larkin and the generals. I've got like Larkin in front of me. Riz, who's the field marshal, is literally to my right, like holding there. Larkin gets a cleave, and I give her some Ossium solution to get up. I can't say a lot about that sort of stuff. They like at that stage, like things are pretty hardcore. I can see on the right that they're basically the whole right is on its own at this stage, and there's a very narrow pass between us and the right. And I'm like, if they're going to get out, it has to be now. There's only one passage that they can go down that I can see. So I decide I like, and there's one like one Jotun who's like between us, who's already actually in that area. So there's actually already a foe between us and them, and it's only going to be a matter of time before there's more. So I shoot that guy. That's my last arrow. I run out there. I picked the arrow up, and then I get to the line. At this stage, I'm like just shouting at them, like, you need to leave now, just like basically forcing a rout on the right hand flank. Fucking hell.
Yeah, keep going.
So like at this stage, like it's pretty crazy behind me as well. So
you've got orcs pressuring all of this, right?
So right now, like I'm shouting them to leave. I'm telling them they've got the information that had come to me was we literally had under a minute at this point to get them out. So I'm like, you got to go now. I'm like telling them how little time they have to get out. I like the way I view it is all of these people are dead unless I force them to run now, and some of them will die. Right.
Okay.
So that's the mentality. So I basically. I knew that that not everyone's going to make it out, right? Like, so I hold the line that is basically on the edge to hold this path out. They're running behind me. At that stage, I'm like I didn't really have a shot because it was so crazy. So I'm like sword out. My sword, bear in mind, is like literally a fucking side sword. So it's bullshit. And I'm not particularly good with it. But I'm wearing heavy armor, right? So the one thing I can do is literally just take hits because I'm completely exposed. So I end up just taking a whole bunch of fucking spear thrusts and basically getting taken down, right? So I get sort of taken down. I get grabbed by two people and pulled out. Okay, I don't know who these two leaguers were. They literally saved my life. But behind me is crazy. Like as I'm being pulled through. It's craziness, like...
So you're down as you cross through the gate?
Oh yeah, dude, I'm down. Like, I get carried back, I get basically dropped off.
So you're on a counter
I'm on a counter, yeah, dude, I'm bleeding out. So I get pulled back. At this stage, it's just everyone for themselves kind of shit. I get dropped basically in front of Theon, of all people, who's there, and is like... I kind of get let go, because the people who even saved me, I think, didn't realise what my situation was. I think they just thought, like... maybe been cleaved or whatever, but like I was bleeding out, and they let go of me, and I just I stumbled a few feet and just basically fell down in front of her, and then she picked me up with this other person, then basically we went through the gate and went through. At this stage though, it's interesting because it was an adrenaline rush, it was craziness, like a fair few people got out from my perspective, right? And I'm like, as we're going through, bear in mind you get that long walk back from where the zone is out of the gate to get to the area, and I'm talking to Theon obviously, and we're just like, it's pretty crazy, but like we'll RP on the other side. Obviously, I've been done. It would have been awesome if I got a traumatic wound. I should have had a traumatic wound. I got jabbed to fuck, by the way. I was just taking body blows, right? Just guard, literally to the last hit, just to make sure I could get as many people out as possible. I get carried through the gate, and I'm obviously at that point, I'm like falling around. You know, Theon takes me to the hospital, drops me off there. I get triaged there. It's a cool RP from the hospital as always. It's awesome. Like the people there are great. I actually asked if there was a way to do because I don't know what if there's people that can give you traumatic wounds or whatever. I probably should have had a traumatic wound. They just basically did some cool RP and got me up. And then I was like, fuck, I'm alive, right? I'm alive, and I can see my Navarchers over there. They're all alive. I can see them. I go over to them. We all have like a big old hug, a big thing. Like we did the thing. We held the Reggio. Ritual's all done. Gucci.
Good job.
It's a good job, right? We were given a job.
Well done,
we
everyone.
did it well, right? And bear in mind, like from their perspective, because they'd gone through earlier than me, everything was a good one, right? When we left, everything was fine, right?
Keep going.
So we get back, and I start hearing information about people, prominent people who had died. And I'm like, that sucks. That sucks real bad, because I like a lot of these people are like friends.
Yeah,
a lot
really
of these people,
good friends.
like and like with Larkin, literally the last time I saw her was giving her the Osseum solution and just like leaving her to hold the line so I could run.
Hearing Larkin was dead, like Larkin's played by someone called Matty.
Yeah,
she's really fucking cool.
yeah.
She's a female general in a very male-orientated space. She's a badass.
Super badass. By the way, during the battle, there's a bit where Iona is down, like on the other side of the ditch that we're fighting at the Reggio. I'm out of arrows, right? And like Iona, by the way, is doing awesome RP, like calling to me, like to come and save her, right? So I'm like, oh my god, like I'm gonna die if I go out there, like straight up. There's no way I can save her. But I'm like, I've kind of forced myself into
Talis, classic Talis.
Oh my god, I forced myself into this mindset for this whole thing that like I will actually run out, right? Because I'm trying to play Talis fairly balls to the wall. But before I even can, Larkin fucking charges the fucking breach. Along with a whole bunch of other awesome Navarri who I know, and basically just breaks that sort of point and gets her out.
Of course she fucking does.
Because she's so fucking badass. So, oh man, it was so fucking cool, like seeing her in action and hearing she was dead. It was so fucking tragic. And a whole bunch of other really cool people. I mean... oh man, I don't want to. Like, I almost don't want to list two people off because
I'll get
it wrong. But like,
you don't need to.
A bunch of prominent people died, like, and big names in the nation died, and not just our nation.
So, let me just give you my perspective.
Yeah.
I head off to Senate. Okay.
Yeah.
Riz comes up, and he's like, "We lost 35 people."
Okay.
Got the Reggio, did the other thing, didn't kill the fucking the orc that builds stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, man, that's heavy losses. You know, that's really bad. Go through Senate, do the motions, do all that stuff. It's quite a short session. I head back into Navarr, and someone says, Talis just got stabbed up. And I'm like, what? And then I carry on. So I'm walking up Murder Alley. And I'm like, someone else goes to me. I'm like, I heard Talis got stabbed up. And he goes, yeah. Brenos stabbed him up. And I was like, well, what the fuck? Like, you know, ICOC.
Yeah.
I respect Brenos, okay?
Dude.
Like, he's a fucking legit badass. So I was like, what the fuck did Talis do? Like, Brenos isn't the sort of guy that stabs a guy up for no reason. And that's when I come round and I walk. I'm worried, right?
Yeah.
So I run round and then I see you in the middle of the Fawns Council. Right, go back to where you were, Ian. What the fuck happened?
So, after the battle, we all head back. Again, we're like... It's kind of going to... Like, bear in mind this information's hitting me in trickles, right? Different people had died. It had all not gone peachy. We knew it wasn't great, right? But we also knew that we'd kind of done okay. I head back to camp. I'm knackered, dude. I'm absolutely spent. I'm really tired. I've had a a long weekend as well. So I just kind of sit down like literally in our camp. So I'm kind of like absent of the information really coming in at this point. It's bad, but like it's bad. It's real bad.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but I just sort of take a little bit to peace out because I'm genuinely fucking knackered. I left my fucking glasses, which is important, like at the fucking campsite, and then obviously they did the announcement for the fucking standing for all of the resolute, to talk about it all. I'm like, I'm knackered, but I've got to go, and I didn't have a chance. Like I just didn't put my glasses on, right? So I head over to where the standing circle is, and I'm sitting there, and I sort of turn up just as the results of the battle are read out, and it sounds from the first initial, like, the outcomes. We got the fucking Reggio, we did the things, it sounds okay.
Big win,
right? Brenos steps out, as Brenos does. I love Owen, by the way.
Stoic
Such
as fuck.
a great guy. He does this awesome bit of RP, which I think is just amazing. And it's like, it's so of the character, where he walks out, and he doesn't say anything for a few seconds. Always.
Yeah.
Like, there's always a silence where he, like, paces. He almost takes, like, 5-6 steps saying nothing, and everyone's fucking silent because they're all waiting for him to say something. And then he speaks. And he drops fucking truth bombs all the time. And he's, like... It's very laconic, is the way... I think of, like, Brenos, like a fucking Spartan.
Is harsh, but fair.
Yeah.
Like, he's fair, right?
Oh my god!
Go. Tell me what happened then.
So I'm watching this, right, and he's like, "It's bad. We got split up. Navarri were scattered. We were interspersed in the group. Like we didn't do what we did. Like the forces were so dispersed, we couldn't call upon any forces and dedicate them in certain places. Like that definitely happened. But it was so crazy from the beginning of the fight. So, but then he says, "We never ever tell people that the gate is closing." And straight after he said that, he also says, "I don't think it was someone from our nation."
Okay.
But I heard that people had been shouting that the gate was closing, and I never want us to do that kind of shit. It was basically the vibe, right?
Yeah.
And literally as he says that, Ben, who's the awesome photographer Ben, his character is called Varric of the Embercast, right?
He's a Twitch streamer, by the way.
Yeah, he's just a phenomenal guy, right?
Yeah.
He literally steps right beside me, literally straight after I listened to Brenos say this, and he says, "What's going on?" And it was like an ICOC question almost. I don't know, or maybe I'm not sure. I'm fucking in it right now, right? And I'm like, and I like have this moment where it's like, I could vanish into obscurity, right? And just be, like, say nothing.
Blow some bubbles,
and have a fucking great time. Because bear in mind, like, my OC perspective of what happened, well, I can't really talk about it. But, like, so, how I just sort of think, like, it's an interesting game to play where I feel like I'm in a position where it's like, yeah, this is kind of game that I want, right? Which was a weird space to be in.
Yeah.
So I just sort of like just said, not even looking at him, like, it was me. It was my fault. And then I walk round to, there's like, basically Standing Circle has this tree that's to one edge of it, which is right next to where you have to walk around to go and speak. Brenos stepped out at this stage. And I've got my fucking coconut cup and my straw in my hands because I'm
sorry. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
sorry.
So I kind of, this is not a time for a coconut cup and a fucking straw.
No.
So I put that down by the tree.
Yeah.
And I touch Brenos on the shoulder to get his attention. And I say to him, "It was me." And he knew immediately what I was fucking saying. So he kind of turned away. I'm not wearing my glasses. So my vision is blurry as fuck.
Yeah.
And he attacks me. Now, because he'd said just before, if I ever see anyone do that, I'm going to stab them. I assumed he stabbed me.
Yeah.
Right? I heard mixed reports. Some people have said he definitely stabbed me. Some people said he just punched me. And bear in mind, but when I say all this stuff, it's all IC stuff, right? This is all done IC.
Bear in mind, like, you know, we played with him for a while.
Yeah, like Owen's, like, and bear in mind, he got in touch with me after the event. All of this kind of stuff. I want to caveat, and this is going to be important throughout all of this. This is like heavy RP, something I've never really done before. I'm totally game for this RP, and I opted in to everything that I'm doing.
Yeah,
and it's interesting to touch on how a lot of that plays out, because it's like, he attacks me. I think he actually punched me, but I have heard he maybe stabbed me. Regardless, maybe Brenos is such an awesome fucking Navarr that he has fucking daggers for hands.
Damn right he does.
Yeah, because he's that fucking cool.
He's a fucking general.
Also, I think, like, the other important element of this is, bear in mind, like, Talis's loyalty has been questioned 3 times. Like, I've been incited 3 times on loyalty, essentially.
Yeah.
And weirdly, the way I kind of view it, like, I see, is that, like, as different as Talis is, he views Brenos as, like, the archetypical Navarri.
Agreed.
Like, he views him as, like all the things that he doubts in himself, Brenos is.
Practical,
like he's
stoic,
if there is anyone,
vicious against his enemies.
Yeah. If there's anyone who will speak the words of truth, it's Brenos.
Agreed.
And he completely is, like, of the opinion where it's like, I have to own up to this, right? I get stabbed up. I'm gonna play it like I'm stabbed. But regardless, I get attacked. I go down like a sack of potatoes because it's fucking dramatic. So I kind of whack back against the tree, step back onto my own coconut, I think, and
you broke your coconut.
I think it was me.
How symbolic!
It was amazing. It was
symbolic!
It was either me or someone afterwards who tried to stab me. But so
someone else tried.
Oh, dude, it got crazy. So I get, like, taken down. Physics obviously come to get me up because nobody knows what's. This is literally like this is completely unexpected. Because bear in mind, this was like a small exchange of words, literally between me and Brenos. He turns away from me, and then he spins and attacks me. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, like in a single motion.
Yeah.
And then I go down. I get picked up, and he's like, "Never do that again." Right? And for him, that's the end of it. But fucking, I have, like, people pull daggers on me. I have someone come at me with a spear. Like, I'm getting, like it's pressed on me. I'm not, like, bear in mind, I haven't got my glasses on. So for me as well, like,
it's just chaos.
It's craziness. Like, I can only see probably a few feet around me, right? Realistically. Everything else is kind of blurry. And I'm like, fucking hell. So, I get healed up. Everything's fucking silent around the circle. From my perspective. Obviously, if you observe this, it all might be different.
Stop caveating. Tell your story.
I step out into the circle and I'm like, I just sort of say my piece. And I'm just like, I remember also being on the floor being like, because I thought he stabbed me. And I thought I was going to, like, I acted like, maybe this is it. Maybe I fucking die right here. Right? And I was like, when the physic was here, I was like, no, it's justified. I said that to the physic. It's justified. Right?
Off.
Right, and then so when I stood up, and everyone had like Brenos had to like restrain somebody else from fucking just shanking me right then, and so I walked out in the circle, said my piece. I'm not entirely sure what I said. I really went, like, you know, pretty full of, like, culpability. I explained what, and bear in mind, it's very intense at that moment. Like I explained that I thought I did the right thing, but I've let the nation down, and that I'll accept the judgment of the nation. Is basically the vibe.
Yeah.
Immediately after that, I think the Leaguish egregore walks into the circle and is like, "You have to come with me because there's a reckoning," which is the Leaguish tradition, because a lot of Leaguers died. And bear in mind, during this as well, I should have said before, Brenos had said that, like, though we got our objective, like, fuck tons of Leaguers fucking paid for it. So I'm like, yeah, that's, like, I'll go. Like, also really important to say through all of this, right? I'm emotional, okay, but like the degree of OC separation is like quite important to bear in mind, like where I am with a lot of this stuff. Like, this is all game I opted into. I'm riding on those emotions because I'm playing off them, but I am very aware of, like, in my own space, this isn't like Ian is like the enemy, right? This isn't like Ian is like, and it's very like, that was very important, or I would never have opted into the game, right? Like, I would never have ever have been like, I'm going to do something where Ian is shamed, Ian is punished, Ian is, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like that. It's like, this is all very much like Talis' internal space where he is, how he is. I think I'm fortunate enough that, like, because of the way that Talis, I play him, it's like there's enough separation between the performance of what it is to be Talis and who it is to be me, where I have that separation now. I think if this had happened, like, back when we first started, when I was basically just playing Ian, I don't know, it wouldn't have been the same, right? It's very different now. So, like to the stage where, like, bear in mind, I've just walked off, like, doing some pretty emotional stuff, like, I'm near tears, but, like, I walk out with them to go and head off to League. I'm like, sorry guys, you might have to go and get my glasses, do you? Because I can't see anything. So it's like, you know, it's like that level of RP, right, where you can just suddenly sort of, like, drop it and be like, I literally need to get my glasses or I'm going to be fucking useless because I can't see anything. So I have to run back. They have to literally wait for me as I go back, get my fucking glasses, which I chucked on the bed like a moron. Scooped them on, headed off. This is all happening end of Sunday. Like, shit's, like, moving quick. So we head off to the League. Jeez, like, we head over to the League, and basically, bear in mind, some people are getting ready to pack down. Like, we're really at the end of the event, pretty much. We're heading towards it, and they're like, we've got to call a reckoning. This Navarri's accepted, like, culpability for this thing, like, and I explained again in front of all of them what happened. It was very interesting to be, like, a different nation, a different culture. Like,
describe what the reckoning looked like.
So, really, I think it's normally, I'm sure it would be very different. In fact, this is all active games. There might even be a more evolved version of this. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Because obviously not everyone had a chance, but basically, it was just a group of people just assembled around me, just like. Listening to me say my piece
on that main strip area,
literally on the main strip in that League, where the looking glass would normally be to my right, you know, all that sort of stuff. Reapers off to my left, circle of people around me. Egregore has introduced me. I explain who I am, what I did, and then I'm kind of talking loosely to the crowd, obviously explaining my point. Some people look fucking like pissed, like icy pissed, obviously. Yeah. But, you know, there's been losses. But then there's one person who's like, I don't know a lot of people in the League. Like, I know some people, not everybody, but there's somebody who was obviously like someone with some kind of military clout who was like, if you did this at this time, as you say, you're not to blame. Right? And and he kind of like spoke for the group, which was kind of interesting. I've no idea who this person is, but he was like, if that's the case, then you saved lives, kind of vibe. Was the gist of it. I'm probably, again, but I'm very swimmy at this stage, right? Because obviously a lot's going on. Also, the thing is, somebody said, like, you need to talk to the jackdaws, right? And that hit me like a fucking, like a big fucking gut punch. I was like, what, the jackdaws lost some people. And I was like, oh, fuck. And I know who the jackdaws are. I kind of, you know, I'm friends with them. I'll go and seek them out later, and talk to them privately. And everyone's like, okay, fine. But, like, it was an interesting vibe, right? Like, this person obviously spoke. They obviously carried some kind of weight. People kind of respected it. And there was no reckoning called. No public reckoning.
Oh, interesting.
As a result. And I think pretty much because this person spoke and explained, I think, how the end of the battle went. And from their perspective. And if I did what I did when I said I did, they kind of didn't hold me responsible. I then had, like, the Egregore. I'm assuming they're an Egregore, by the way, whoever this Leaguish person was who led me there. If they're not, I'm sorry.
Lady of Horns?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude. So it's like I head back then towards Navarr, where fucking Thorns Council is, and everyone's fucking shouting at this stage.
Fucking hell, dude.
I go, and I walk in, and everyone's like, explain what just happened, and I explain what the League's perspective was. We had I think again a guide who had gone with me. I would recognise them, but it's like it was a lot. So they were like, after I kind of explained it, they kind of then repeated their version of how it went to the group. So it was which was, I think, roughly what I said, but like clarified. It was really interesting. Like, people were like, we should brand you with like this brand, which is like this kind of like shame brand, essentially.
That's when I joined the back of the crowd,
right?
And you were like, everyone was like, we're gonna give him a shameful brand, and then Georg, who's the Thorns Council leader, was like, we're gonna brand him, but like that's the end of the matter. I don't want anyone to. If you strike him, you're striking me, and you're disrespecting the fucking Thorns Council.
I heard as a funny sort of side comment, somebody kind of whispered to him like afterwards, like, Georg, there's a lot of people here who wouldn't mind stabbing you too.
Right. Yeah. He's an amazing player, by the way.
Actually, I should also say, me and Georg are like Talis and Georg, and just as like people, we get on really well. I got a letter from him at time-in on Friday asking if I'd be part of the honor guard to like have him sworn in, because he was like, and I couldn't make it because I was busy, but like I'd already agreed to help with the whole thing for the thimble, so I'd apologized to him. So like, there's a lot of stuff going on, like different kind of thing. Again, it's very important to say this is all very active game. I'm being as honest as I can be about this stuff, but obviously if you don't know something I see, please don't fuck around with it.
That's when I decide it's time to do a bit of senatoring.
Yeah.
And I honestly,
I
bear in mind, I'd seen. Oh,
you weren't really around, right?
I'd seen Farron.
Oh my god, I didn't
Sol,
talk about Farron.
Who
actually, can we quickly? Okay, so straight after in the songs and so much stuff happened that like there's a lot. Straight after the songs and stories thing, where I'd been stabbed, and I said, "Can I go and get my glasses?" I head back to go and get my glasses. Yeah. I head back to go and get my glasses. I get my glasses. I'm walking back to basically go and do the reckoning, and fucking Farron walks up to me in tears, and he's like, from my perspective, it looked like he was holding like a real short blade or something, and he was crying, and he's like, "All my heroes are dead," is what he says to me, and like, I'm like. I kind of hug him and I said, "Oh, the heroes were always you." And I thought he was going to fucking stab me. I thought he was going to kill me right then.
I think he was thinking about it.
Well, apparently he didn't know anything about it.
Oh.
And he was just upset because Larkin had died.
Okay.
Right? But in my mind, I'm like embracing him, thinking like, this is it. This is poetic. If fucking Farron just fucking ends me right now, I'm cool with that, right?
Yeah.
Like, what a great way. Like, if he fucking just kills me right now, like, because I whispered into his ear, like, do what you want to do, like, if you want to do it, kind of thing. And he's like, obviously, like, he's just kind of like crying. I'm like, I've got to go, like, because if obviously when he didn't, I was like, I've got to go and go do the reckoning. But so just as a quick aside for Farron, because that was awesome RP, by the way.
I saw Farron as I was heading up Murder Alley, and he's really upset. And he's like, I'm like, what's up? And he's like, because usually, like, Gellert, when I hear about losses, losses happen. It's part of what it is to be a hero of the Empire. But when he said, like, Larkin's dead, I was like, and bear in mind that all this stuff is trickling to me.
Yeah.
So I'm hearing about massive casualties. Talis fucked up. Larkin's dead. Other people are dead.
Quinn's dead, right?
Quinn's dead, yeah. And it's like, oh my god. So when I get to the fucking circle and this is all going on, I stepped forward to support you, and literally, I didn't know what the fuck I was going to say. As I said, "Sorry, Gail, could I say a few words?"
Yeah.
And at that point, Ian, nothing in my head, not a fucking Scooby. And I step out, and I'm like, "Hi, I'm Gail Ashbourne. I'm senator for Hakinia." And I was like, wanted to put a bit of swagger on it, I'm a senator now and all. And I was like, imperial law, the important thing to remember is intent. And I do not believe that Talis, his intent was to cause any harm to any imperial citizen. He acted under his best judgment in that situation. And that's how we judge imperial law. And man, people agreed, but man, that was an angry crowd, dude.
It was interesting as well. What was, again, and I think it's really important, this is extremely active game for me, and I want it to be treated honestly and as icy as possible. So I'm really conscious of the things that we say, and I don't want what we say to affect play.
Let's talk about the fields, because you left there, and I was just like,
no, I'm not even done, dude. Like as well as you, there was also there was a bunch of people who I know who had stepped up before and been literally stepped into the crown as we things like we all ran, should one man carry the shame for the nation, all this kind of shit. Other people I had someone be like, he's a captain, right? He's a captain of a unit. How can he remain a captain? He has to be removed. All this kind of stuff, right? There's loads of different arguments and stuff. Different people talking about different things. Again, the brand's brought up by Justin. I'm terrible at character names.
Don't worry.
But I have no idea what actually mechanically that means. So I'm just he's like, would you bear the brand? And I'm like, I didn't really know how to express it, because bear in mind there's a lot going on. I was like, I have no concept of what that means. Could you explain it to me? Which sounded quite weak sauce, but and when he explained, it's of course I would bear the brand. It's fucking fun game, dude. It's awesome game.
Dude, when I touched base with you, first thing I said was, "Are you okay?"
Yeah.
And you were like, you looked back at me and gave me a big grin and were like, "It's fucking amazing." And I was like, fuck, Ian, I can't even tell how you're going to react to anything. Okay? I was genuinely worried for my homeboy that you are, because your face was pale, your head's down, you looked like a kid in trouble. It was like you were in a world of pain. But then to see you smile and be like, no, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I was like, that's fucking great, man.
It was so good as well, because you've got people like Justin who are obviously calling for me to be branded and shit. And then afterwards, as we're walking off, he's like, someone's getting game. It was so good.
Oh, I can imagine that.
I gave him a little cheeky smile, because it was just yeah, fuck yeah, I am.
Yeah,
and it's just
I'm getting game.
Dude, it's, man, it's
dude, I think the maturity of you from where we were 5 years ago to embracing this is so impressive, dude. I think it's fucking amazing. I think it's so cool. And also, I think I see OC very debatable whether you were to blame for fucking anything. In fact, probably not. But the icy repercussions for the people that we lost, and how it happened, and the league being involved, and the way you're embracing this harder element of game, right?
There was a couple of things. Honestly, this was what was interesting, right? Because when you play this kind of game, all right, and you're my game is very performance led, but it's also been something I've only really started racing for a few years, and only really hard for 1 year, right? Probably really hard, and I was it's at the point where I think we've been doing a lot of stuff in tabletop RPGs. We've been doing a lot of stuff in other things. I've really gained a lot of pleasure from exploring big emotions.
We've been hitting those reps, buddy. We've been hitting those RP reps.
I felt like I was like it was, and it's so telling that like when it literally spun off someone saying to me, "What's going on?" I think if Ben had not said, "What's going on?" I don't know what would happen, but it was just like it felt like the perfect like permission sentence to be like, it was me.
Okay, going back to where we talked about this earlier, now all the cards on the table, we were talking about like you completing your kit. I feel like it's freed you massively from like your my kit's new, I want to finish this, I want to do this. Like I feel like you've reached this point where you're like you're free and you just dive into the chaos. And it's I'm so impressed, dude.
It was one of these kind of things as well, though, where you do it, and I really wanted to do it, like, to ride the emotions as legit as I could, right? And to be like the bits, like, it's kind of weird when you're, like, I don't really, like, it sounds very fucking fart smelly, but, like,
no, dude, come on.
When you're kind of acting, right, the bits of yourself that you access to achieve the emotions, right, where you're like I'm talking, I'm going to get a bit teary, right, I'm talking, I'm going to get passionate, I'm talking, like, the things you're accessing are kind of real, right, but it's giving yourself that barrier of separation. And I've been like, a lot of the stuff we've been doing in other kind of RP that we've been doing, and in this, and in who I've been able to inhabit in Talis, it's like I really felt I was ready to step into some RP like this. I'm sure there's other people out there, by the way, doing like loads of fucking awesome RPs.
Stop caveating.
But it's just like, it was really fucking crazy cool. And then, but what you don't think about is stuff like what you were saying, like other people. Like I had like, and so I hadn't, like, one of my main concerns was like, oh, am I kind of like spotlight stealing from all of these other tragic things that have happened? I hope that's not the case. My intention is actually to add to the theatre of everything that's happened.
No, I feel like you were a focus point of grief.
Yeah.
Right?
That's kind of how I want it. I want it to be like an aspect where it's not like overshadowing anything. I want it to be like an addition to. Like,
I get what you're saying. Like, the way I said that was like, I think plays into your worries, but I think it's more like there was so much emotion because of the people that died, the confusion of it, that I think it was like a necessary, like, you added to the game.
I'm hoping so. That's really what I was trying for.
That's from my perspective. I know we're really good mates, and but I feel like that's what I saw.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember when there was the... When did they get really heated at Military Council? Do you remember the Fawns Council?
Oh, that was the election for Caro.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it got really heated. And it was, like, really intense. But, like, it was great game.
Yeah.
And, like, that intense RP is sometimes quite rare at Empire. But, man, people are there for it, right? Like, it creates narrative, it creates game, it creates drama.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that is... I'm incredibly proud of you.
Yeah. No, I'm proud of me too.
Yeah.
Actually, like, it's a lot of work that I think, like, a lot of it's like work on myself as well. But it's also like, it brought to me, like, there's other things I think when you're playing this game you have to consider too. And it's necessary, like, not like, obviously this is such an extraordinary game in a sense, well, to me anyway, it's an extraordinary game where it's just like, if I ever do something like this again, I will definitely do these things, which is just check in with the other people who are in your immediate circle and make sure that they know that it's OC, you're okay, and IC, it's fun.
as soon as I
because, like, for example, your response where you were actually worried about me.
Yeah.
Like, I had, like, obviously, like, I've got people who care about me, who like, OC care about Ian, and I'm writing it very close. Hopefully, I'm doing a good performance where it's like I'm writing it very close.
I couldn't tell the difference, by the way.
Yeah, well, I'm like, and I hadn't, because I'm very in the moment, right? So I didn't necessarily think about other people. Because I had, like, some people who are like, close to me in the Navarchers, for example, who are, like, you know, like, OC impacted by it. And I'm, like, in retrospect, the one thing I would improve is just making sure that all those people knew relatively quickly afterwards that, like, OC, I'm totally fine. Like, I see this is great opportunity for game. This is something, like... I had tried to... I've kind of spoken to my lot a little bit before anyway, because people are kind of aware. The people that are close to me hopefully were aware that, like, I've done a lot. Like, I've kind of got Talis where a point where I've hit a level of game where I'm comfortable and I'm ready for more. But bear in mind, I had no idea the game was going to go this way, right? Like,
that's what's beautiful about RP.
You know, I had no idea this was going to happen.
Dude, it's why we love it. Because
100%.
We have, like, you can create amazing narrative by committing to the roleplay.
Yeah.
And that's, like, I think this is, like, it's such an interesting, like, Talis is doing his thing, he's blowing bubbles, you're living your best life, you're being invited to fucking fancy parties, you're doing all this stuff, you're in charge of the Navarchers, you're on top of the world. But this one thing, like, turns all of that fucking apple cart upside down. It's and the fact you're embracing it and like it just shows how much you've grown as a person through this hobby. You've always been very avoidant of confrontation, all of that stuff. But now you're like, I don't know.
This was like, if you like, I think this is like, certainly for where I'm at now, this is like an Apex Mountain kind of shit.
Yeah.
Where it's like, when the moment happened and it came, I was like, yeah, I'm ready. I kind of, like, I remember when Ben asked the question and I was like, yes. Like I could, like, I wasn't even looking at Ben. I was looking at Brenos. I was thinking, like, the RP he's dropping is so fucking great. I kind of want to be part of it. And I'm in the character right now. Like, I could feel it. And I was like, yes, this is it. Right? Like, there is actually no better response than this. Right. So it was like, it was cool. And then what was awesome about it was, like, after all of this, like, I'm like, I've got to go and speak to the fucking Jolly Jackdaws. Right? So I leave fucking standing. Bear in mind, Silver's spoken for me. Like, a bunch of the other Navarchers have spoken for me. You've spoken for me. People have spoken against me. Like, just walking, like, down the road, I got some people, like half draw a knife and say, not now, but soon. Like, shit like that. And it's like
prison shit.
That, like, yeah, like, it's coming.
Showing you the shank.
Yeah. And it's like, just as I'm like, everyone's like, because that's the thing, like, I didn't immediately check in with my guys, because I was like, I've got to go and speak to the Jackdaws, because that's really what's on my mind, actually, because I was like, they've lost people, right, I've got to go and see them. So I head over to the Jackdaws. They're busy actually, like, breaking down camp and stuff at this stage, because we're really time out at the moment.
By the way, also, there was a big thunderstorm coming in.
Yeah.
It didn't really hit.
No.
But
I think everyone was worried
a lot
about
of
it.
people were packing up early.
Yeah.
In fact, weirdly, there was a lot of cars on site really early, which was in time in, which I found really jarring.
Yeah. It was strange. It was a funny moment, but I was in it at this stage. I was really in it, so cars be fucking damned. Like, I remember Bramble, who's like a like part of the Waystone Path, like with Silver and stuff. Like, she for the first time ever, like, picked up a sword and walked with me when I was walking through Navarr. and then like, which was fucking awesome to see and then like after like recently she's been like, yeah, I'm going combat now. Like there's no like this is like it's cool, dude, to see like sparking gaming people. It was right that like stuff like that is like really fucking cool.
Yes.
And then like Caddock's like, I'm walking with you to if you're going to the jackdaws, because like literally he heard somebody like literally just threaten me leaving the Thorn Circle. So like, I'm going with you. Like you're not going anywhere on your own. But I'm like and my like Talis' view is like the will of the nation, right? Like his loyalty's been questioned all of his life.
Fuck that, the will of Caddock.
And he's like, yeah. So he comes with me. I go over to the jackdaws. They're breaking down camp. And I'm like, I need to speak to you. And of course, they all think I'm just here for fucking fun and bubbles and bullshit, right? And I'm like, no, we got to have like a real chat. It's like there was a reckoning earlier, and like I was the person who spoke at it. It was me. I think like I'll have to maybe do it something. We'll have to expand on it because they were really sort of breaking down camp and like, but it was like it was good RP because like Nietzsche was like, you know, like really cool about it. Like wherever my two jackdaws are, I know that they're kind of, you know, they're flying through the labyrinth, and that you could never hurt me or something. He
Burn
said,
bright,
like that kind of shit, and he kind of like embraced me, and like it was cool. That all the jackdaws gave me like a group hug. It was cool, dude. So then I leave. We're heading back. It's proper like out of time now. And people are checking in with me, and I'm fine. Like I'm totally fine. And I'm having like I'm really fucking happy at this stage, right? Like it's awesome RP. It's like I've managed to speak to my lot and settle a lot of that stuff. Let them know as best I could that I'm fine. Some people don't even know about it, which is really funny, right? You have some people know about it, some people don't know about it because Empire, right? Apparently my name is fucking muck in military council.
Yes. They were ironing you out in military council.
Yeah, I've heard nothing about it, basically, other than that. But, yeah, I mean, rightly so, probably. It's very interesting. Like, I'm not even kidding, like, walking through Navarr, I got multiple death threats. And obviously then we go to timeout. And we're packing down and all this kind of cool stuff. I don't know if you've got anything else you want to do before I get to some fun stuff. So some hilarious OC stuff happened. Okay, so I'm walking to go and get my car after we're packing down. Packing down is a long process, like, especially all the shit I have to unpack. I head off to go and leave to get my car. And these leaguers wind down the window and like they're like, there's going to be a reckoning, right? They're shouting out the window. And I'm like, yeah, that's fucking cool. And I kind of give them a wave and stuff. I carry on down a little bit further. And then this car just suddenly like pulls up. I don't know who these leaguers are.
You're a fucking dead man, motherfucker.
Literally. They pull up. The guy gets out the passenger seat with his boots, slaps them on top of the car bonnet, right? And it's like, there's a reckoning coming, boy. I have no idea who this person is, but whoever you are, I laughed so hard. I'm actually no concept who this person was.
That's so good.
Oh, it was literally like, it was like the bit from like Anchorman where they all turn up from the fight and they hit the fucking thing, and it's just like, there's a reckoning coming, boy. It was so...
You're going to get cursed and stabbed and cursed and reckoninged and inquisited.
It's like I can't really say much more. The letters have been very interesting, very spicy. I'm preparing myself.
I think I need to convince Keys to no longer protect me, but protect you at this stage.
It's interesting. I think it's funny that I think legit I might be the first one of us to die.
Yeah, to get stabbed up. If you
properly,
if you want to take odds on who's going to get stabbed up first,
it's interesting. Man, it's like again, like I think at this stage we're in full like OC stuff. So again, like keep all of this, but like it's a lot of fun. I'm preparing myself for the game to come. I honestly I've got some ideas and some plans myself, some things I've been working through some of the letters are just so spicy, and some
Ian,
of it is so much fun.
Let's leave it there.
Yeah, but
Hype for E2.
Hype is insane for E2. Yeah,
Let's fucking
what a
go.
great event.
What a great event. I actually loved E1. It was so good.
Like, we've talked a lot about me, but it's genuinely, did you have a good, yeah, you enjoyed
Yeah, I think this was your event. Which
is crazy because you got elected to senator. By the way, I feel like I've stolen
No, not at all. I think I think it's fucking wonderful, dude. I think it's so great. Press F in chat for Larkin.
Jesus.
But really fucking cool.
There was some mega
Let's roll a dice.
Let's roll a dice.
Let's roll a dice and see. Who rolled it last time?
You do. I'll roll this one.
Roll it.
Seems right. I should roll for...
Yeah, go for it.
Free.
Jason Nesser.
Jason Nesser, thank you so much.
Did we already do Jason?
No, you almost did Jason last time, but it was...
Well, Jason, you hit it this time. And also, I think it's only right that we thank Roz, who is a new patron.
Oh, amazing.
As of today.
Yeah, as of today. Well, hopefully you get a spicy final episode. Jesus Christ.
Oh, my God.
We love you all very much, dude.
I'm going to be doing an episode on my experiences in Prague.
Yeah. See, this is... I have a feeling my shit's probably poultry shit compared to what you went to.
It's extremely fucking relevant.
Yeah.
I've been sitting here, listening to you talk, and it's it's super fucking relevant.
Yeah.
To my experience in Prague. So,
yeah.
Hey, listen, I hope you had a great E1. If you're not attending Empire and just listening to us for the lols, thank you so much for listening. Fuck, I'm going to go and pee because I'm busting. But strength to Navarr.